Hello, everyone. We are here with the nutritionist and, certified nutritionist and a person who is leading the campaign for Human Development Foundation's campaign called Umeed Se Aage. And her name is Fatimah Khan, and she is here with us in the studio today to record a podcast about how the campaign is working in Pakistan and how Human Development Foundation is working towards the betterment of pregnant and lactating women, as well as how Ramadan has affected our diets terribly, and how work is, kind of chaotic while we are all in quarantine. So we have Adeel with us, of course, here today,
Right.
and we are in work zone right now. So Icons magazine ki taraf se thank you very much for how for coming and gracing us with with your presence.
Thank you for
So
having me.
I haven't seen you in like so long, and I'm like met you today, and I really just wanted to go back to work. How is work in quarantine?
So quarantine has hit us all equally, I believe, but it's pretty slow, but it's going. It's good.
Mhm.
I'm getting used to it now. Now I feel like it's going to be hard going back to work.
Really?
I'm
You actually enjoy? All right. Are you actually enjoying this time though?
now I've started to
A month later.
40 days almost. It's been 40 days now.
Has it actually?
Yeah, so it takes 40 days to like develop a habit.
Of course you would know
20
that.
days.
40 days.
20.
Mate, let the experts.
Mm.
Yeah.
I've heard.
Yeah. Well, now we're hearing it from the horse's mouth. That's not a compliment, by the way.
Don't call
but-
me a horse.
Yeah, I was gonna say like for a moment you actually took that as a compliment.
I was
No,
just
I'm sorry.
going-
I'm joking. All right. So, yeah, like how are you actually working during this time? Like, what are you doing in order to get your routine or, set?
Okay, so as you might know, Zara knows, I'm basically working as a public health nutritionist currently with Human Development Foundation. So, because I'm not practicing at a hospital, so it's much easier for me because I stay home and I just have to work from home. So I manage, and it's so far so good.
Okay, so let's just go a bit back, right?
Okay.
So, how did you get into the industry?
Right. So I graduated as a nutritionist
Mhm.
after completing my education in food and nutrition, and I started off as a clinical nutritionist.
Mhm.
I was practicing in a hospital, but in a year later, I took a shift and I moved towards the development sector.
How come you made that switch?
So basically, working in a hospital gets very monotonous after a while when people
Right.
when people just come to you and they basically just want to either lose weight or gain weight, which is basically the idea of a nutritionist in Pakistan.
Right, and even with that information, how often do they follow it?
I
Okay.
would not want to answer that.
No worries. Okay, and so why go into nutrition?
Oh, I never wanted to.
Okay, good start.
Yes. So basically, my mother wanted me to be a doctor.
Mhm.
That didn't work out. I wasn't such a smart kid.
Yeah.
But eventually, it worked out really well for me. And I think it was the best decision my mother took for me. And I
Okay,
really enjoy it now.
right.
It's
So-
a field that is extremely rare in Pakistan.
Yeah, so like when Irum actually introduced me to you, the first thing I was so don't take this the wrong way. Initially, when she was saying that she knew a nutritionist, I kind of just naturally assumed it's going to be some guy coming in or whatever, right? But then with you being a female, like I'm sure it's even more difficult for you to get into the industry, which people already don't care about.
Yeah, so true. People don't care about A, B. I went to a university where you study nutrition, and I have so many batchmates, and they all are doing. Majority of them are doing nothing at this point. But Alhamdulillah, I was very lucky, and my parents and my
Yeah.
family has always been very supportive. And
No, it's very impressive that you actually even made it into the industry, right? Okay, so now you're currently working with HDF, right? So what are you doing with them?
so, Human Development Foundation basically lifts up communities. It works for the betterment of the vulnerable groups, for the people in poverty and who are below the poverty line. And they have different program areas, one of which is their health program, which is their flagship program. And under that program, they have the mother and child wellness program.
Right.
And under this program, we're running a campaign called Umeed Se Aage, like Zara mentioned.
Yeah.
Umeed Se Aage is basically a campaign focused on mothers and children under 5.
Right. And so what are you doing with them?
Okay. So we basically, when I say we, I'm referring to HDF. HDF basically works in 8 regional areas, 8 areas across Pakistan. Karachi, Rahim Yar Khan, Tandu Muhammad Khan, Jog, Mardan, Lahore, Islamabad, and Muzaffarabad. I might have
got them all on top of your head.
I might have like mixed up one or two, but so these are the areas where we're working, and in these areas we work in over 300 villages, and what we provide is prenatal care, postnatal care, antenatal care. We provide immunization along with the government, so it includes EPI and TT vaccines for the pregnant. We provide supplements for the pregnant and lactating, and it's a holistic model that we follow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now you focus mainly on the pregnant and lactating mothers, right?
Basically, the goal of this campaign is, I'll take you back a little.
Sure.
So in Pakistan, 400,000 mothers and children die every year due to preventable causes. 90% of these causes are preventable. 400,000 mothers and children die every year. The goal of this campaign is to reduce this number by 50% by the end of 2030.
Wow.
So we're working towards this goal. We have a few objectives under this campaign. There are 5 objectives. I'm just going to name them quickly.
Go for it.
Number 1 is mass awareness, where we educate the masses. Number 2 is capacity enhancement of the frontline health workers. So the women who work on the field, the LHWs, the frontline health workers. Yeah. Number 3 is system strengthening. So we want to partner with the government and strengthen their existing primary healthcare systems, their BHUs. 4th is provision of nutritional supplements, folic acid, iron, calcium, etc.
Yeah.
And 5th is we want to advocate for increased investment on nutrition sensitive and nutrition specific interventions.
So, since
for you to absorb
exactly, it was difficult for me to absorb the numbers as well.
Yeah.
So when I was introduced to the campaign, Umeed Se Aage, I was shocked to listen to the numbers that she just mentioned. There are this many women that pass away only because 90% of them could have survived, but they didn't, because there are a lot of different reasons. So these are the situation that we are currently in. Okay. I was very surprised because they after I joined HDF, they were already designing campaigns for Umeed Se Aage and everything. But then a few 2 weeks later, Corona hit Pakistan as well. So completely, it was all a sudden, of course, the country fell into
took a shift.
Panic. It just complete took a a 360 degree shift. And we were all working and designing plans to as to how Corona is going to affect the women that we were working in, or the communities that HDF were working in, more than the communities that were already there.
Right.
Okay. So, tell us a little about the plan which HDF is working on. Okay. The media and all of the things that, of course, that we are doing, in combination with a lot of other things, but mainly the campaign itself. What do you think were the key things that were changed because of Corona?
So basically, this campaign also just mainly focuses on malnutrition, and we know that malnutrition happens because of unavailability of food, hunger, and when COVID struck Pakistan, the biggest fear for the nation was that people will die of hunger and not of Corona. So looking at the current scenario, we started this entire COVID relief campaign. HDF initiated it, where our first priority was to distribute ration bags to families so that they have sufficient food, which would at least, not let them die of hunger. And one thing that HDF did differently was that I personally had designed these ration bags, keeping in point of view the pregnant and the lactating, and we made sure that these ration bags have all food groups and they're high in protein, and milk was added to these ration bags, because just providing families with rice and wheat does not fulfill their dietary requirements.
Yeah.
Yes. So the point of like having a public health expert on nutrition with HDF was to make sure that when like there were a lot of other organizations that were designing ration bags and ration packages for COVID and Ramzan, HDF made sure that we had to keep the campaign Umeed Sage in mind, and we like spent like you she spent like days designing and calculating calories, making sure everything was in order, then of course acquiring all of that things, and then of course designing the Ration flyer so we can gather more funds, because we understood that people need those ration bags now more than
Yeah.
before.
So now, when you're looking at the dietary requirements, what things are you looking for? Like, obviously, from your perspective, right? We can talk about it from a very layman perspective, but, as a nutritionist, what things are you actually looking for, especially with mothers?
So, pregnant women need a surplus of 300 calories than an average person, and a lactating
Right.
mother needs a surplus of 500 calories than an average person, which means that an average person in any case scenario needs fewer calories than the mother who's pregnant or lactating. So that was kept in perspective. Then another thing was kept in perspective was the family size, the household size in Pakistan. The above 5 family members, there are around 6 to 7 to 8 people in every household. So just providing 10 kgs of atta does not suffice for a
Yeah.
family of 7 or 8. So all these things were kept under consideration. And also in Pakistan, we have 40% stunting and 18% wasting. And wasting and stunting are caused because of protein energy malnutrition. And the problem in Pakistan is that the people who are living below the poverty line, they cannot afford protein.
Yeah.
They cannot afford meat, fish, mutton, beef. So we need to give them veg sources like legumes, lentils, pulses, beans to fulfill their protein requirements. So we made sure that in our ration bags, we add a surplus of these beans and these lentils to fulfill their protein requirements as well.
All right. So now, like talking about quarantine, but from a different perspective now. So I'm guessing you have a very healthy lifestyle, right? Or like you like to think about what you're eating.
Yes, I do.
Right. So
I'll be honest. I do. I actually do.
So do you cook?
I can cook. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I cook everything.
Okay. Any specialties?
Chinese.
Really?
Chinese.
Yeah.
Oh goodness.
I make amazing crispy beef, like sticky beef. Yeah.
So I enjoy
Why
cooking.
haven't I tried it?
Wow, you never come over.
Good,
Also, I
that's
make
good.
really nice pasta.
So I actually like cooking, but I can never do beef. How do you get beef soft? I know. Like people are probably
By
gonna
getting
think
the
I'm
right
stupid.
part of beef. So the undercut is supposed to be the softest. The undercut of the beef. So you get the undercut and then you cook that, and then it'll be the softest.
See, now you make it sound so simple. Right. And it's everyone's celebrating Ramadan, right, during quarantine, right? So what things should people keep in mind when they're making their food in these days?
So I spoke on a different avenue. I spoke about how people should eat during quarantine. And with quarantine now, we have Ramadan as well. So I said earlier as well that during Ramadan, usually in Ramadan, because we're fasting, our immunity goes really low because you're fasting throughout the day. Aur 17-18 ghante ka roza hota hai. So like you're not eating for 17-18 hours.
Yeah.
So to boost your immunity, you need to make sure that you eat a lot of fruits and vegetables. And by that, I mean 5 a day. So 5 vegetables a day and at least 3 fruits a day. And
Okay.
Yeah. So if I can quickly give you like an idea of what you should do, what you should have during your sahur, your sehri, and what you can have during your iftari. So some things that are very healthy would be dates. So dates are for everybody. Even people who have diabetes can have dates. They can have 4 to 6 dates in a day, and it will not shoot their glucose levels because dates have a low glycemic index. So they have a low glycemic value.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually.
No, but like I've heard this from so there is my mom's friend. She is a diabetic person, and she has been told by her family or like the previous generation and everything that since you have diabetes, you should not have any kind of sugar, even if it is from fruits or from dates or etc. So how do you think that is going to change? Because it is coming from generation to generation, and
I'll explain my grief here. There are a lot of food myths that exist in Pakistan, especially the myth of hot and cold foods.
Yeah.
According to science, no food is hot or cold. किसी चीज की तासीर ठंडी या गर्म नहीं होती.
Are you kidding?
It's a myth. No food is hot or cold.
So fish isn't hot.
Know that.
No.
Are you serious?
No. So there's a research by Howard. You can go see it, look it up. Dates have a low glycemic index, a low glycemic value, which means that they do not spike your glucose levels.
Okay.
And even diabetics can have them. So, yes.
So, are there any other fruits and vegetables that diabetic people can have?
Yes. All fruits and vegetables that have a low glycemic index. For example, apples, peaches, strawberries, melon, watermelon. All these fruits and vegetables have a low glycemic index. And then diabetics can
People
have
need to be educated about this more, because I, for one, I'm speaking from experience.
There should be like an entire other...
don't worry, icons will cover this.
I think we need to, because we need to crash these food myths, because I think, diabetic people get deprived of so many different things.
Okay, I've got a question, right? Fish and milk. Does that do anything to... Is it?
Yeah, so there's just one type of fish
Yeah.
that causes that disease that you think it does.
Yeah.
No other fish causes it, and that fish is not even available in Pakistan. So the disease that people call burs is basically pigmentation of the skin, and it is not because of fish and milk. Varna, or else, haven't you ever seen like kids having fish and then drinking their milk before they go to sleep?
I do that all the time, right? So I've never had like any skin issues.
My mother would never let me have even chai right after like dinner, because she said you just had fish, so you do not have
my mom had the same issue with me, right? She would always tell me off for doing these things.
Yeah, because then you're gonna get, that disease.
So like there's this other myth that once you've had watermelon, don't have water on it.
Yes.
Or else you have like
I've not had this one.
You have diarrhea.
Yeah.
Okay?
Or you throw up.
Yeah, heza ho jayega. I proved to my mom practically, look mom, watermelon, and then I had water and I said no diarrhea. So these are just food myths that we need to bust and we need to educate the people.
We are
my entire life is a lie.
I know, right?
Like our family, like my sister and my mom and me, we are forbidden to drink water like at least aadha ghanta after we have had any kind of like melon, like that yellow wala and like tarboos as well. We cannot have water.
No. Also, have you heard that 2 banana myth and 1 banana myth?
My mom told
that
me
if
that
you want to
too.
have a banana, have 2. Don't have 1. One.
Yeah. Otherwise, it's gonna have otherwise, we're gonna have constipation.
Like it cancels it out. Or
yeah.
what?
It's just a food myth. It's just a food myth.
God.
I was coming back. I'm gonna
Yes.
gather this back. I know this is very too much to absorb. For Sehri, I think first of all, one should not miss Sehri. Okay. There is a Sahih Hadith that says that in Suhoor there is blessing for you. So anybody who eats Sehri, it is good for him and it will help him stay energized throughout the day. An ideal Sehri would be a glass of milk, some form of carbohydrate. You can have a chapati, you can have porridge, you can have cereal, you can even have rice. But you should avoid having high sugary foods that have a high salt intake, and foods that have high fat content. All these 3 will make you feel thirsty. Otherwise, rice does not make you feel thirsty unless there's a lot of salt and oil in it, which biryani mostly has.
Okay.
So like if you're having foods cooked properly, they will not make you feel thirsty. Also, next, you should try and add an egg to your sehri. So I'll just give you a simple example. 1 paratha, 1 egg, a glass of milk, and 2 dates would be a very good sehri for you. If you do not think you can eat enough, so you can exclude one of the following.
Right. So you get everything in there.
So you can't eat biryani.
That's a balanced meal. No.
What about iftari?
You can wait for
I'm coming to iftari. Hold your horses.
Get excited.
Okay. So iftari mein, first of all, we make these very fancy juices and tang and jamishi and roo afza and like.
I like lemonade though.
Yeah.
Okay, even lemonade. We put loads of sugar in it. So always break your fast with the date. Sorry, oh my god, I didn't want to say that. Break your fast with the date.
Yeah.
Followed with water. Not roo afza, not lemonade, not anything else, water. If you still feel like you're craving a lot of juice, prefer fresh fruit juice. Never exceed having more than 1 glass of fresh juice because fresh juices are very high in calories. Why? एक glass juice में कितने सेब डालते हैं?
Go on, Irum.
6 to 7.
I don't make the juices.
Okay,
I
so-
I cook.
so
I
generally-
cook. My
Okay.
sister makes the juices.
Okay.
So generally, I'll tell you quickly. 1 sip from one apple. So you have to,
Is it actually?
yeah, try it. Try it. The next time I come, I'll ask you, how many oranges did you put in a glass of juice?
Wait, actually, you're right. Actually, when you think about it, because
Because I think I put like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
Like mom puts like 5, 6 oranges to make
One glass.
one glass.
Yeah. So never exceed more than 1 glass of fruit juice. Are you guys like questioning me or like I do not understand because
No,
No.
I personally no. 1 second, Fatimah, I genuinely did not know.
oh, it's
yeah,
okay.
I've never calculated it. You know, like when you make juices.
I never thought about it.
Yeah, you just kind of like buy the kg of apples
Yeah,
and
and
start
like-
like throwing it in.
Yeah, or like my sister would add like a cream and yogurt and milk and strawberry shake, and then she would put strawberries and like bilkul thodi si chini.
So like strawberries are good because they're very low in
Yeah,
sugar.
and they're amazing.
Yeah.
And Mom makes the
So
best strawberry.
strawberries are good. Add your milk, add your yogurt, but wait, don't add too much sugar.
No,
That's
like
where we go
sugar.
wrong.
Sugar is like
Yeah.
she already
That's
does
healthy.
not like
That's healthy.
doesn't want to like take like a lot of sugar.
So you can have a fruit smoothie instead of fruit juice if you don't feel
So
like
a smoothie is better than a fruit juice.
no.
then.
They're both equally good. I mean,
Oh,
they're
okay.
they don't
Okay.
replace each other. It's like saying
Apples are better than oranges.
yeah, exactly.
But they are.
No, who
I
said
like
it?
apples.
That's
Oh.
it's a personal preference. So like, if someone likes having smoothies, they can have a smoothie. If someone likes juice, they can have juice.
See, because I personally can't eat fruits like that, right? I don't know. I know I'm weird.
I
I
know
can
someone.
only-
I know
I-
someone who hates fruits.
All right, thank you.
I do not eat fruits normally.
Yeah.
It's Ramzan where my mother forces me कि अच्छा ठीक है खा लो fruit. So I like we make a chart. Like वो chart बनाते हैं, then I can eat fruit. Otherwise, the only fruit that I can have normally is like peaches
Okay.
or
Alright.
apples.
I'm allergic to peaches.
How can you be
The
allergic
skin.
to peaches?
I'm allergic to the skin of the peaches. So till someone peels them and puts them in a plate, I cannot put them in my mouth. I get a rash all over my lips.
Okay. Anyhow.
Okay.
Let's go back.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right. Now the other thing is now lifestyle, right?
No, wait, I didn't.
Oh.
I hadn't finished. So you eat a date for your iftar, then you have water, then you have either salad or fruit. You do not eat any fried items. If you
So no
really
pakode.
no pakode. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
mate, you literally just upset all of Pakistan.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, but that is
People are gonna hate you.
Yeah.
people do their iftari like it's their last meal. It's not. Let me
Also
tell
true.
if you're really craving something yummy, you have other cooking options: baking, grilling, steaming. You can use an air fryer.
Oh,
They're
yeah,
available
fries.
there out in the
Air fryer are
market.
nice.
Air fryers give you crispy food, crispy fries, crispy chicken. Try to modify your lifestyle. Bring in new technology. Do you know how much oil you waste in making those pakoras? One entire pouch goes in frying one batch of pakoras.
Also very
So
true. But
my-
what about the families that are very like they have norms where every other day like our family, like my sister, she is like a little more diet conscious than I am, so she makes sure that we only make pakoras like after every second day, and like it's like 2 pakoras per person only.
If
So
our generation doesn't change,
Yeah.
where will the change come?
also true. But pakoras are really nice.
Now, see,
So have them twice in Ramzan.
I live
Don't
by.
have them every day.
Twice in Ramzan?
Yeah.
Having pakoras twice in Ramzan. Do you know how that sounds and how bad people feel about this plan?
So
No.
I live by having a halogen oven, right, and the air fryer and a George Foreman grill. Like you keep all in it. So here's the thing, right? Whenever I cook, right, I don't actually like oil. Like this is one thing that I've been really shocked about in Pakistan: the amount of oil people put in their salad.
Yes.
It's
It's like
excessive,
going out of the
right? Like I put like for half a kg of chicken, it's like half a teaspoon of olive oil, right? And like
Beautiful.
and a lot of people say, oh, olive oil is expensive. It is expensive, or it does cost more. But if you put the right amount in, it doesn't actually cost that much, right? Like if you're pouring it in, like as if it's water, then maybe you've got
Like,
problems.
I
Also, the oil
remember-
that people use in their houses
It's
is
a
not
lot.
healthy.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
it's
healthy.
not.
नहीं, I
The
like
oil
that is-
commercially available is not healthy.
Acha, so like usually this is a thing na, then like the people need to be informed more about the kinds of oils that are available, like the differences in it. Take the corn oil, the normal cooking oil or olive oil, and there are some other like can
Coconuts.
olive or something. I don't
Okay, so
know.
I'll tell you. The easily cheapest available oil that you can even make at home and is monosaturated is desi ghee. Okay, it is same as olive oil, and
Is it?
it is, yes, it has the same
Yeah.
nutritional value and the same chains.
Really?
Yeah, the same chains, like the same fatty chains
Yeah.
that olive oil has.
I
So
don't know that.
desi ghee is something you should use. But desi ghee bhi, you know what people ka yahi masla hai. that
Parathe.
I eat paratha every day for
Amazing.
I
sahari.
make parathe every day for Sari for
Do
my mom.
am I fat? It's not
Yeah,
about.
Never mind.
There's supposed to be a balance in life. I totally
Yeah.
advocate for that.
अच्छा मुझे ये बताओ कि like how much difference have you seen in your own household when it comes to pre-Ramzan and during Ramzan, like dietary habits?
I don't know if you'll believe me or not, but the only person who has really bad eating habits in my house is my brother.
Hmm.
Okay, and apart from that, everybody is pretty civilized. So we go for like
Pretty civilized.
an instant dinner.
Hmm.
So like normal dinner, food
Yeah.
that you eat every day.
Yeah.
And for iftari, I make a fruit salad or I make a vegetable salad, and I put nuts, I put raisins, I put chicken in the salad so that it's yummier, and I make like a nice dressing. You can put balsamic vinegar, you can put normal vinegar, you can put sugar, you can put honey, you can put dressing a little bit, you can put the Caesar dressing, anything, barbecue sauce, whatever you like, but just a little bit of dressing. Your sauce, your dressing, your salad should
So
not
not
be
a lot of
drenched in
mayo.
this. I never put mayo in my.
Okay, see,
I
the
never
mayo,
put mayo in my dressings.
mayo is my guilty pleasure.
Oh, like imagine garlic mayo with fries.
Okay, so I have this. I think this is weird, right? Roti, keema, mayo.
No, I don't think
I've
that's
never tried
weird,
that.
but
Oh,
I
girl.
have never tried.
Do it. It's good.
For me, it's
Oh,
like.
you shouldn't do it.
For me, it's like.
You'll get me. Oh, you'll get the love.
I have a guilty pleasure: roti, keema, fry anda. I don't know why you should try it. Oh,
I don't know what's wrong with that.
Why?
Yeah, that seems good.
it seems really good.
Yeah, I need to try that one.
But why anda with keema though?
Oh, it's so good.
I could do that. Okay, so the memory card just died, so we're just gonna continue from where we last left off. Yeah. So you know, yeah, we were basically just talking about
So I
diets and
tell
things.
you something.
What about the lifestyles?
Lifestyle.
Yeah, like
Okay. So during quarantine, since everybody is home, so I'll tell you how you could go about this. Number one is I want to emphasize on the fact that please have a routine. If you're home, that does not mean that you stay up till 7 a.m. and that you sleep at 7 a.m. and you wake up at 5 in the evening.
Yeah.
There's something known as sleep patterns and sleep cycles, which release certain hormones from your brain that disturb you mentally and physically, make you gain weight or lose weight. They affect people differently. So please have a routine. Follow a routine. Eat at the same time that you used to pre-quarantine. The same frequency of meals. And since you have so much time on your plate, maybe in a regular routine, mostly people do not find time to exercise.
Yeah.
Like mostly I never used to find the time to exercise. So like I used to do it 3 times a week, but now I do it every day.
Yeah.
So exercise. And by exercise, I don't mean that you need to go to the gym or that you need to go out, because
Yeah.
these days when I see all the people in all of Islamabad, it's like everybody is just like a crazy health freak and just wants to go running on the roads. Do not do that. Stay home. YouTube is filled with videos of all sorts for people with all body types, for all areas, for everything. So just go open YouTube, follow videos, and if you cannot even do that, just walk. If you can't walk, just skip. If you can't skip, just spot jog. But do every exercise for at least 20 minutes a day.
So
Basically.
So like
good
there should
advice. Don't know if I'm
there
following
should be
it, but yeah.
there should be like 20 minutes of physical exercise
Yeah.
every day, or at least 5 times a week.
I think right now there are a lot of home exercises anyway, right?
Yeah. But the one thing I'd like to tell you is that people, if you do an exercise in the wrong way, it builds the wrong muscle,
Right.
right? So for people who are beginners, do not use weights. Your focus should be reps and sets. So if you think you're getting better, increase the number of reps that you're doing and increase the number of sets that you're doing, but avoid using weights.
Right. So why would you avoid it? And like I know you said that it builds
Because
the wrong muscle, but how
because
is
beginners don't really know how to work a certain muscle.
that? Okay.
Okay, and you do not want to work the wrong muscle,
Right.
which is why you should not do weights at home or not do weights above 2 kgs.
Okay.
Yeah, like 2 kg ke dumbbell. That's
So-
it.
Aaron, what exercises are we doing?
Me?
Hmm.
I do yoga because I have
You
back
actually?
problems. Yeah, I do
Oh,
yoga
God.
in the
We
morning.
got yoga
Otherwise, I
mats
can't.
here.
Otherwise, I can't walk. Like I have back problems, like
Yeah.
severe back problems. That's why otherwise I won't. I don't like
Actually, you did bring up
sit
an-
even straight.
You did bring up an interesting point. So, like, what if somebody has, these back problems or whatever?
Yeah.
Let's say they're a bit more aged.
So for every exercise,
Just because I'm
No,
like
no, no,
4
no.
years older
No,
than you.
no.
What
I
is
actually,
that
I'm just
supposed to
saying.
mean?
I'm sure I have an uncle somewhere who has a back problem.
Right.
people who have aged or who have
Still sounds
This is all talking. Okay, leg problems. Yeah.
people who have aged or have leg problems, back problems, or any sort of problems where they feel like they cannot do a certain exercise, they do not need to do it.
Okay.
There are alternates. They can do other exercises, and if you cannot do any exercise, you can just walk. Okay. And if you have knee problems, which people usually do in Pakistan, do not use a treadmill. You should walk otherwise. So
Okay.
treadmill actually puts more strain on your knees than regular walk. So I would say do not use a treadmill if you have knee problems.
Yeah.
Even otherwise.
Really?
Yeah. Even otherwise.
Okay. Why otherwise?
Because it puts more strain on your knees and on
Okay.
your ligaments. So in the long run, your ligaments become weaker.
Because I've never liked treadmills.
I hate
Again,
them.
I know I don't look like I exercise.
I would
but-
rather go cycling because I miss cycling. Because like I used to like cycle a
By
lot
the way,
when I was a kid.
cycling requires a lot of stamina. It's very
No,
easy
but
to
I
say.
used to. No, I used
want an
to. I
electric
used to
bike,
when I was a
actually.
kid, but then I stopped.
Okay.
So here we are.
But one thing you'll notice in these days, you do see a lot more people
A lot
cycling.
more people cycling.
Yeah, and I've never seen that many cycles in Pakistan. Yeah, right? And
Yeah,
now
I
they're
never
like-
knew so many people own these many bicycles. Like,
And
I was
there-
like, where
and
are they
do
coming
you know
from?
there are groups on like I
Yeah.
find like WhatsApp groups where people are regularly posting their bike collections now somehow, and they are asking people if they want to buy one of them, and they're like the prices are like crazy high.
Yeah, right now because the demand's high.
Exactly.
Do you buy? Yeah, because like okay, I wanted an electric bicycle, right? And I've been wanting. No, I'm not trying to be healthy. I just want an electric bicycle because of a hipster lifestyle. And so, yeah, and before, so I think before the import taxes and all that happened, right? I was going to get one, but then that taxes thing happened, and now we can't. Yeah, whatever. It is what it is, right? And so, yeah, it's really hard to get, and the only ones that I'm finding now, right? Because I know one guy with one somehow, right? He's increased that price massively to what it was about a month ago.
Yeah,
So-
that
And
happens.
so
If
you
you know
should
anyone,
wait.
let me
So
know.
you should wait until like another 2-3 months to like thinking of buying one.
Irum, how am I with waiting? Yeah, waiting's not my skill.
No, I've renamed his contact name as Annoying Adeel. So
Yeah, I'm not the
yeah,
most
he
patient.
is no, he's not patient at all. No, I think this
Okay,
is
I'm gonna-
exactly
I'm
why
gonna
you
bring
should
you guys
should
back.
practice Ramzan like 7 months but a year.
Wait, I'm gonna bring you back to lifestyle. So I said sleep.
Yeah.
I said routine. I said exercise, and last is eating.
Mhm.
Okay. These days we've started indulging in comfort foods a lot because we're home, so we're all making lasagnas, pastas, banana bread, cake,
Yes,
brownies.
yes.
Stop doing that. Okay, start cooking healthy. Eat like normal humans. Do not indulge in comfort foods, and
But
do
they're
not go and shop for quarantine and just bring like a bunch of snacks for yourself that you'll eat while binge watching Netflix. Please don't do that because you'll just end up gaining weight and then you'll cry about
It's
it.
called
I
comfort
rarely
food.
get time to watch Netflix. Is so much work.
Well, when you
Yeah.
have a routine and you wake up at 7:30 a.m., I'm sure you'll fall asleep by 11. You'll have no time for like comforting and Netflixing.
Oh no, I don't really watch Netflix all that much nowadays, isn't it?
No one's
After the-
watching Netflix these days. I think everything is going pretty well.
After
I think everything is going pretty well.
I think my first week of quarantine, I had time. After that, I've not had time.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
It's
I
like,
actually miss going to office.
Same.
yeah. So
I cannot wait for the quarantine to be over so I can go back to office and then just start a routine again.
Mm,
And this time I would actually be, be thankful that I get to go to office every day because I miss it very much and I hate working from home.
and
I bet that's at least what I think. But she's, I think, gotten
yeah, I was gonna
comfortable.
say, yeah, you said that you got uncomfortable with this lifestyle, right? So like, do you actually miss a office or going out or?
I miss my friends.
Yeah.
I miss going out for a coffee once in a while. I used to go every day.
It's a slam
So,
bang.
yeah, I used to go every day for a coffee.
And I miss burning brownie. Oh my, I miss going to burning brownie with you. Oh, and I miss crema.
Oh yes, they have nice breakfast.
They have very nice.
They're scrambled eggs.
Oh, they're so nice.
Okay.
We're talking about food again.
Okay, so
Wait,
Wait,
anyway.
actually, one more thing. Sorry. Where's the healthiest place to go eating regularly in Islamabad?
So every place depends on what you choose to order.
Uh-huh. So McDonald's.
Okay, no.
No.
Sorry, I just thought.
no,
yeah.
no.
KFC.
Okay, no, so I think I didn't answer this right. I'm going to rephrase myself. Any place that is, so you know how everybody might not be able to afford Lofology or Street One or a restaurant in Kosar, and everybody has their own budgetary limitations, and I totally respect that. And even people like me who have to eat out every day and have a meal minimum costs 300. So just when once quarantine ends and you're going out and you're eating lunches, I would mostly say have fruit or vegetables or salad for your lunch, and if not, then you can have normal food, but just do not indulge in foods that are super cheesy and fast foods.
Okay. So before ending the video, one last question. Because you said this, what is the first thing that you are going to eat out once the quarantine ends? And please reply very honestly as a
Nando's.
human being.
Nando's.
Really?
Nando's chicken.
Come on.
But that's
I would
healthy.
eat the chilies. I miss the chilies. The peri
Okay, no,
peri
I don't like
chilies.
peri bites. I'm sorry.
I love them. I love spicy food.
I would eat Nando's chicken,
Yeah.
but I'm obsessed with Nando's. And just by the way, that's a very healthy option to go and have.
But especially if the sauce is the extra hot one. I love that.
Okay, stop it. I'm craving Nando's.
Yeah, I bought that sauce and brought it
Same,
home.
but it doesn't work like that.
It doesn't work like that.
Okay, never tried any of that.
You don't
Anyway.
like Nando's?
No, I love Nando's, but
You should try it.
like,
Just try
okay,
it.
so here's an interesting thing. So Nando's in Pakistan is really cheap compared to England. Like I am
I've
so
heard. I've heard.
yeah, like in England,
But
right?
also not equally good.
No, it's nice.
Really?
I prefer it here.
Really?
No
You're
joke.
the first person to say that.
Okay, I don't.
You are actually the first person to say
Well,
that.
to be honest, I don't like. So Nando's in England has this reputation, right? That if you're in college and you're not allowed to go to smoke shisha, you take your birthday parties in Nando's. That's why, yeah, it has that reputation. So basically, Nando's over here, right? One is like about a third of the price. Yeah, because it's really
You should go to Nando's with me. They're all my friends.
Are they?
Yes.
Will they actually let me sit at the table for long?
Sit on the table and they'll make you the best Nando's. I give you my
Will
word.
they also give you a discount?
Just go with me. You
Okay.
also go. I'll take you too.
All right,
Okay.
sure.
Deal.
Post quarantine.
Post quarantine meal. Okay.
Treats on me.
That's
Done.
recorded.
Then it's online now. Take it. Well, anyway, thank you so much, Fatimah, for gracing us with your presence again. I'm saying it because it just means so much to me. Thank you for crossing a lot of the food myths that I did not know about.
Thank you.
And let's do a regular maybe an online session where we can take on these random food myths and ask people to send us these random send in the randomest craziest food myths that you've heard, and we're going to ask Fatimah here to answer them online for all of you. And the article is going to be on icons.pk. You can find her nutrition articles already over there, posted by me. And her Instagram is
Fatimah Khan 27. Fatimah with an H.
with an H.
Fatimah Khan 27.
Yes. And you can find the podcast online soon. Yeah, soon. Anyway, so Adeel.
Yeah.
Annoying Adeel, thank you so much for, like letting me, talk to Fatimah all the time.
Alright,
But
no
yes,
worries.
we enjoyed a lot, and we'll see you in the next podcast.
Take care.
Bye.